This is another episode of Dangerous Ideas. My name is Shawn. I'm an innovation strategist. What we do is we break down concepts and frameworks that will change your life. Oh, wow. Hey, everyone. This is another episode of Dangerous Ideas. In this podcast, what we do is we break down concepts and frameworks that will change your life, change your career, change your business, but most importantly, change your life. We got two special guests, returning guests in the building. Moh and Mazen, Mafus, guys, say hello to the cameras.
What's up?
Hello.
Well, gentlemen, you haven't been on the pod in a very long time, and I think it's the return of the Mac right now.
Yeah, well, number one, right? It looks different.
It looks different.
We're trying actually, I don't know if we've been on this new set. Yeah.
No, we have not been on this new set.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, every time you guys come, we incrementally making it a little bit better. And Mo already knows because he actually helped design the set too. So.
Yeah. I know the set. The next time we got to do it is on a plane.
Oh my gosh.
I like that idea. Well, listen, I got some really dangerous ideas with you guys today. But before we get to the dangerous idea, let's just get to the heart of it. Everybody's been asking about the Drake and Kendrick thing, and I know last time we were chatting about the Kanye Drake, and we were going back and forth. And actually, we had a private debate on if who won the battle between Drake and Kendrick. And I was saying that Drake, Family Matters was an amazing song, dope song. Drake is absolutely the GOAT because of the numbers. It's not even compared. Kendrick's not even in the same universe. But let me say this with peace and love, as one of the Drake's greatest fans, I will concede. Drake lost the battle, and I'll only say this because of this. I only say it's only because Kendrick's song went number one. Yeah, I can't. It's about the numbers at the end of the day.
It's the numbies.
You just can't deny the greatness.
Oh!
You just can't deny the greatness, bro.
No, but you guys were saying before it went number one. You guys were saying that he already won the.
Yeah. The thing is, it's not just us, man. I literally found random posts on Instagram, people putting Drake, Kendrick, cast your votes. Every single vote that was casted on there, and we're talking thousands, over 50,000 votes. The whole diagram was skewed, bro. Kendrick always miles away in front of Drake. I even sent you that one YouTuber who literally went to Toronto.
Yeah.
And then he would be talking people from Toronto not even supporting Drake.
Well, it's cool. It's a cool thing to hate on Drake because Drake. No, it's cool. It is cool to hate on Drake, and that's the dangerous idea. It is cool to hate on Drake.
It's not.
I'll tell you why. Because he is the most popular artist in hip hop. It is cool to hate on Drake, and that's why if you go to regular people and say, it's if you want to hate on somebody, Drake, but guess what they're listening to in their car privately? They're listening to Drizzy. They're listening to Champagne Papi.
Bro. It's like when Drake said, he's like, I know you got my picture hanging in the studio or something like that. I do think he's right, though. I do think Shawn is right about it's maybe, I don't know if I would say use the word cool, but it's acceptable for sure. It's normalized.
Because Kendrick is an artiste, right? He's underground. He's more he's not as popular,
right? Definitely don't say he's underground because he's not. He's not underground.
He's not underground, but this hit that Not Like Us, is probably his third number one single or maybe second.
Man, you know what? You remember that Mos Def clip? When he talked about that?
Yeah.
Remind Shawn a little bit of what Mos Def said.
So Mos Def was in an interview somewhere, and
I remember.
So he was asked okay, well, what do you think about Drake? And then he said the thing with Drake is his music is very compatible with shopping. It's very, it fits in a shopping center. You go to Target, you would hear Drake there. Right, it's compatible with.
He didn't say Target.
Maybe not Target.
Now you're just
Listen.
you're just
Maybe
downgrading it.
Actually, no, it might have been
Target.
No,
He didn't
yeah,
say
he did.
Target.
I swear he did.
He
You said Target?
Yeah.
He definitely said shopping for sure.
He said shopping. It's like
Definitely
mall.
shopping.
It's mall music or something. Mall shopping
Yeah.
music or something.
Yeah, and people hated him for that. And unfortunately, he's
So-
right.
Didn't
Let
he
me-
apologize? I thought Mos Def apologized.
He apologized. Yeah, he did apologize.
Well, it's important to note this, by the way. So you're saying the dangerous idea is that it's easy to hit on Drake.
Yeah.
But when we're looking at other artists, his peers who have, long in the game, who are not hating on him.
He doesn't have peers.
Whoa.
He does not have peers in his
Bro,
generation.
You cannot say like Drake is here and like every other artist is here. It's
yes,
impossible.
you can.
No,
In hip hop,
no,
you can.
No.
Look at the numbers.
No.
I bet you, Shawn. Is like,
This-
this is why he had 20.
Hey, I
people
said
for-
I just conceded on this pod, and
No, but-
then he
but
lost
you're-
the battle, but he
you're-
won the war.
No, he's Drake. Personally speaking, like Drake's only relevance is his brand, his name. His music is not relevant to me. Like, I don't even listen to Drake. Like he's old now. Like even Lil Yachty told him you're old when you were talking on and he felt hurt when he was like talking about it. Like the point I'm trying to say here is other artists, other musicians, not the mass public, already like view Drake as a different type of artist. Not as like the greatest, just simply like, yeah, he's like a commercial entertainer, pop, sensational, like, top of the world kind of person. But when it comes to like the artistry, there's no depth. It's just all like, it's all surface level stuff. We go to the club, you bounce to it, and that's about it. And those numbers don't mean anything for the culture. Culturally speaking, it's not, and it's meaningless. So-
Okay. First of all, Drake is way more nuanced than that. He has way more depth than that. Don't say he's not even talking about the club that much. He's the only artist that did singing and rapping very well. He's loved by the guys. He's loved by the girls. Nobody can cross that like Drake. He's multi-talented. He's got the numbers. And if you talk about doing something for the culture, when you are that popular, you actually are doing something for the culture. It's like
Okay,
the Yankee-
What is he doing for the?
Yeah, what is he doing?
what do you mean by the culture? The culture is
You're saying the culture. What is the culture?
the culture. The culture to me means hip hop culture.
How is he helping?
He is
hip-hop
making
culture?
hip hop culture relevant. When your mom does not know who Kendrick Lamar is, but your mom knows Drake. My mom knows Drake. She had never heard of Kendrick Lamar. And that is because that is what's making hip hop culture. When people think of hip hop, they think of Drake. And unfortunately, Kendrick Lamar is not doing anything for the culture. Maybe he's doing something for like the people in Cali, like the underground people. To me, that's not the culture. To me is like what's popping. Drake is popping. Drake can move the needle. Kendrick can't.
Okay, hold on. I gotta say something just to pull back on you for a second. If you look at the majority of Drake's songs, yeah, you could say, he's in the hip hop category, fine. But those songs, when Drake is really like blowing up, like the mega songs that he makes, generally speaking, they're not really hip hop. You can call it hip hop, but it's more pop. Kendrick,
Well, yeah, because it's popular. Is Not Like Us a popular song? You got a DJ Mustard beat. It's literally like
is.
it's a little like Crip. It's like the most hip hop pop song in the
Yeah, no, but it's different. Like if you compare Not Like Us to God's Plan,
God's Plan
pretty
is
different.
yeah, but God's Plan is a. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Hip hop.
Who's hip hop then? Jay-Z. It's a hard knock
Lamar's
life.
hip-hop, bro.
I mean, what is hip hop? What's a pure play hip hop song?
Kendrick Lamar is hip hop.
That's why it's not popular. That's why it doesn't hit.
Okay.
Like guys.
Yeah, so technically speaking, on Drake is pop. He's not hip hop. He's a pop artist.
There you go.
Listen, once you
Would
become
you disagree with that?
once you become popular, yeah, you become. That's what pop is short for popular.
All essentially Drake is doing is sampling, is like infusing a bit of hip hop music, a little bit of pop music, a little bit of Spanish music, a little bit of like reggae music, a little bit of like UK drill music.
Yeah.
So technically, he's just a remix pop artist. He's not only strictly hip hop.
Guess what? Every artist is a remix.
Well, obviously, every artist is a remix.
You know, even though I agree with my brother here, just to play devil's advocate, what do you think the difference is between that and Kanye? When Kanye hops onto other kind of sounds, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like
it's cool to like Kanye because Kanye is anti-culture. He's like fuck the culture.
Like it's in a way, Kanye is always like 5 steps ahead of everyone else, right? So let's say if what's trendy right now, Kanye doesn't do that. He's already doing something else. Obviously inspired by everything else, remixing things, but his upbringing is rooted in hip hop, right? I'm not saying that his upbringing is not rooted in hip hop, but Drake's first album was mostly singing, wasn't it?
I mean, he's mostly been singing from early.
And I mean, again, who influenced that? Kanye, right? So
well, probably more.
No, but Drake even he said that on record, he's influenced,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's not like I'm being controversial here or anything.
No.
But I don't know, man. The whole thing to me is just that, yes, I know what you mean in terms of Drake's popularity, but at the end of the day, he's not he's not when I talk about culture, is he actually contributing to society and actually creating meaningful lyrics?
I love the face.
What do you mean,
bro?
Let me
name it. Probably God's Plan is maybe the most influential song from a cultural point of view, but Hotline Bling to I don't know, I can't name it.
Let me say this. Wait. Just let me say this one point. Okay, so back to what Moh was saying. He was saying an earlier comment about how Drake's kind of surface level stuff. He makes surface level music or whatever.
He's an entertainer.
He makes popular music.
Okay. I would say that comment is debatable. Whether all of his stuff is surface level, fine. It's debatable. But the thing with Kendrick Lamar is a lot of his songs and his discography in general is social commentary. Comments about just a lot of what it means to be a black man in America, a lot of that kind of stuff. I think if Drake does have a hint of that in his music, it's really, really in the background. Right?
It's not even it's maybe 0.1%.
Yeah. And when we're talking about I guess historical relevance, if you get an artist that can infiltrate that realm, it's gonna mean more. You're gonna have more lasting power than just singles about I don't know, breakups and
well, yeah, even
okay,
which is what hip hop is rooted in. Hip hop is the anti-establishment.
What do you
hip hop
That's
culture?
Totally true. Yeah,
hip hop rose up to do that. Obviously, it's been remixed as the most commercialized kind of platform or genre that has been used worldwide, but there's some artists who are more on the entertainment and popular side, and there's some artists who take it to the true artistry and make it socially conscious.
I totally disagree, and especially when it comes to lasting power. Listen, there are lots of artists, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, Common. They have incredible social commentary, but we ain't listening to them. We're listening to Drake. And lasting power. Drake has been lasting in the game longer than anybody.
Do you know why?
His peers are not here.
Do you know why?
LeBron and Drake are in the same category. They're going 2 decades deep.
Do you know why?
Yeah, because Drake has been relevant for this long. It's incredible.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because people only read headlines. People,
I agree,
only read headlines. Drake is headlines. If you want to read the meat, you look at Kendrick.
No, but what? I understand.
And that's the truth. That's the truth. People are so easily gullible. They just want the quick thing. Give me the dopamine. Yes, I'm so good. Yes, let me just bounce. Okay, cool. Now next track. But if you want true meaning to real art, you gotta go deeper, man. You gotta go deeper.
Yeah. And
why does making? I don't understand why. Talking about social commentary is about the culture, or it's why can't you do something that influences the masses
Yeah.
And that is part of the culture. You're actually moving the culture forward. Talking about your inner shit and how you're, you being about, to me, like you could still be popular and just create popular music.
I think it's
I don't know. I understand what you're saying. Doing it for the culture. What does that mean?
Look,
what does that mean?
Okay, I wish I could break this down in such an eloquent way, but I can't. I'm just gonna have to say what's on my mind. It's not about like if you have a huge voice, but you do nothing with it. What does that do for you? And when I say do nothing with it, like if you have a platform and you make social commentary and you're critiquing something in a constructive way, then you're, I guess, influencing society in a positive way.
Okay, can I turn it on you? MJ, Michael Jordan. Is Michael Jordan for the culture? Did Michael Jordan impact the culture?
Yeah.
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 He had, and guess what?
Yeah.
He said absolutely nothing when it comes to social commentary. In fact, he said, his famous line is that Republicans buy Nikes too. They buy shoes too. He said nothing politically. He's only about the game. Michael Jordan was a popular figure.
Sure.
He influenced the culture of basketball more than any other human on the planet. That is.
But
I hate to say this, bro, but sports is different. Okay. Sports is about how you play the game.
It's not just different, but listen.
When you're an artist, it's about what you use your voice
Michael
to say.
Jordan,
it's about what are you saying.
Michael Jordan is an artist.
Yeah, sure.
Listen, Michael Jordan is an entertainment. What is sports? It's entertainment.
No, I agree with you, but don't you think his lack of saying nothing by being a black man, making it out of like, how like society, like throughout society, of how black people in America are always like on the lower social.
But Drake's
spectrum.
Not from America. He's Canadian and half black. He does not have to talk about being a black man in America. That's not part of his culture.
I think maybe I would say a few select people. That's why they have a problem with it, because Drake is not from like the ghetto, or there's no he did not have to like really suffer to make it through all these. Look at all these artists that you just named, like previously.
But why do you have to go through the ghetto to be part of the culture?
You don't have to. I'm not saying you have to, but there's in the United States is so different than Canada, but obviously like we still have similar problems here, not the same scale there, but it's I don't even know what to.
Drake was so anti-establishment at the beginning. He was the guy that was able to sing. He could rap. He was from Canada. He was half black. He was half white.
That's not
and now we're sitting here where the GOAT is sitting in Canada.
That's not anti-establishment.
And he's half Jewish, half black. I'm just saying, at the beginning, he was the anti-establishment, and now he is the establishment. He's so much the incumbent that everyone is coming after him. The Weeknd, Kendrick,
Rick Ross,
like the Most Def. Everybody wants to come to the king.
Metro Boomin.
Like, it's like that's what happens to disrupt. Disrupt the entire game.
Personally, I don't even see him as the king.
Oh,
okay. So then who's the king?
There we go.
Kanye's the king for me.
Well, I spoke over you.
For me, but that's just personal preference. I do not see Drake ever being the king. I just see him being as one of the top entertainers, and no one can take that away from him. He broke records. He's super influential, but
wow.
But as an artist, not even.
Let it be known that I started this conversation by saying Drake conceded. I conceded that Drake lost the battle, and then yet I've turned it around to be like,
bro,
Drake,
Apple Music did this curated thing, and they didn't even put neither Kanye or Drake as their number one album. They put Lauryn Hill as their number one album of all time.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw
that was a hype album.
Yeah,
the miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Is Lauryn Hill making new music? No. Why is she not like being portrayed according to these curators as a number one album of all time?
Lauryn Hill didn't have a longevity like Drake.
Yeah,
of course.
But listen, you can be relevant and have a hot.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. So Vince Staples, actually, I think a couple days ago, he said something regarding this whole Drake thing, and because someone asked him like, oh, what's your
yeah.
And I don't listen to Vince Staples either, but I think there's like a bit of merit to what he's saying.
Okay, let's hear what Vince
Staples
has to
he
say.
said, I'm just kind of going in the middle of this paragraph. So like when we get priced out of our contracts, we getting priced out of our imprints. There are no labels basically that are incentivized to sign black music, and it's happening in front of our eyes. While Taylor Swift is fighting for people to be able to have streaming money, brothers on the internet arguing with each other about rap shit. And that's how I feel about it, honestly. You know, personally, I think we're better than that. I think we deserve better than that because we've been saying for decades that we want people to respect black music and black art and black people. I think for that to happen, we got to respect ourselves, and they don't make it easy for us, but we got to try to work a little bit harder at that. So
I like that.
And Drake, I've never seen him dive deep into this lane. Kanye has, other artists have, all trying to be like, we want to have a bit more ownership. But Drake, honestly, he's a slave to Universal.
Woo!
Well,
That's right.
I just think that it's not an important issue to him. It's just not, and
yeah, because
that's I mean, if it's not an important issue to him, then why does it?
But that's the thing, because like in a way, this maybe goes back maybe to Socrates, like where people are like, you know, political animals. Like, are you part of society? Are you your own lane? Right? This is why all these artists are saying no. We're all like here collectively trying to fight this. But Drake is just in his own lane. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be part of this. Does he have the right? 100%, he has the right. But people have a bit of like problem with that, because it's like, well, that means you're not really part of us.
If I don't know if we can draw a graph, but it's like the more popular that you are, the more that you have to protect the bag. Meaning, for example,
I can't disagree with that.
if you're Kevin Hart or The Rock, you are a global superstar.
Yeah,
like you have brand endorsements, you have companies behind you, or you have equity in companies.
Yeah.
There's no way that Kevin Hart or The Rock are going to make political statements, or they're going to speak for the culture, because if you're too anti-establishment, then you're not going to get the bag. So, you know, you got to be able to, like, you know, play that game. I'm in the same way. I mean, this pod is called Dangerous Ideas, but at some point, it's like I'm also beholden to organizations and clients. Like, I'm not going to say everything that's going on in my group chats.
100%.
Right?
But until you are free, and you do your own, you own your masters, whatever. Look at Macklemore, came out and put like a diss an entire Biden, everything, free Palestine. A white rapper saying free Palestine, and he don't give a shit about like being if he was on a label, he would still do it. Meaning that when you truly believe in your own voice, you can push any narrative out. But at the end of the day, you will protect the bag. But some people can go beyond that.
Who can go beyond that?
Well, like I just showed you one example, right? But
Macklemore can't, but he's not. He can do that, but you can't be relevant on a larger scale. It's hard. Well,
I mean, this is literally Kanye's whole career. This is literally Kanye's whole goddamn career.
But Kanye now,
and he had to navigate getting canceled and
but now Kanye, he like that's why he tried to jump in this beef. He like dissed Kendrick and J. Cole.
Yeah, like
it's just like he's just piggybacking off. Well, Yeezy put the Adidas just put Yeezys for 50% off. Like his glow is after the whole anti-Semite thing, after the whole him going crazy, like he's done.
No,
I don't know, man.
I disagree. Vultures, man. The Vultures
did pretty well.
The Vultures did very well, man.
Vultures did do well.
You cannot disregard Kanye.
I'm just saying,
with the Yeezy,
the music, Vultures did do well in terms of a stream perspective, but his overall impact is lessening. The fact that he jumped on a track and nobody be like, dude, like get off. The fact that if I think Yeezys is done.
Well, the whole partnership with Adidas, obviously that's done. But how much money did he make out of the Super Bowl ad?
Well, by the way, it was like he played it in like a certain area.
It was the funniest Super Bowl ad I've ever seen.
Genius. It was genius.
Kanye is always ahead of the time, and he will still be relevant. He will always be above Drake forever because he put Drake on. Not in my mind. Just sorry, I'm saying personally speaking.
Unless you see the numbers.
Man, I wish I had.
I want to go back to the numbers.
I wish I was Mr. Beast just so I could put a poll, because like I had a lot of people commenting to be like Drake versus Kanye, just to get a sense of who people support more, musically speaking. Anyways,
Anonymously, people will say Drake.
That's what
if they put their government name on it, they'll say.
But all I will say is,
I don't know who they say. They say Kanye, or they say
after
Kendrick.
This fight. So Drake already lost the Pusha T versus Drake, and now after this beef, his credibility, I think, is even now worse than what it is. But does that mean it's going to impact his overall brand?
I think it's a blip.
Not really, but I don't think he's relevant anymore. Like at some point, he's going to be old. Like new people are not going to be like, oh yeah, let me listen to that new Drake track.
Let's talk about that.
You know what I mean?
Let's talk about that, because this is like probably one of my favorite topics ever, which is that the dangerous idea that I've brought up a number of times, which is that there are no superstars. There are no new superstars.
Yeah.
There are no new superstars. There's like, it's very hard to crack in. It's very hard to like break through. If you think about music, like the new superstars like Burna Boy, Dua Lipa, Tate McRae. I mean, like I'm saying people that could sell out like an arena.
Billie Eilish.
Right? Billie Eilish.
She's pretty.
I mean, but we're looking at it a very few number of people that could do this, right?
Yeah.
Like really, really break through. And we think about hip hop, like all the young guys that came through, the Baby, Lil Baby, Roddy Ricch, fucking like, you know, even like 21. They were not going to be able to sell their arena. The only other guy that could sell an arena is Burna Boy, but he's out from, you know, he's an international
artist. Yeah.
So it's like, that's why Drake keeps ascending. It's because he's just the incumbent and we just want to hear the incumbents. It's hard to break through. And that's why I think Drake does a really great job. Let's stop talking about Drake. Let's just talk about no new superstar.
No, you could use him as an example. I get it. Like, I know what you mean. Like, but I think he's peaked. Like, I don't think you can go more than that. From here on out, new generations, like 12-year-olds, are not going to be interested in Drake.
I also don't think it's possible to peak beyond.
You can't, exactly.
Beyond what he's peaked. I don't know if you can even.
Like what I mean is, like, can he outdo himself from here? You know what I mean?
I don't even know if it's possible.
Forget Drake. Let's just talk about if you're a new artist. The idea of you becoming a Drake is like so much more harder than it is. Even though it's easier to create music, it's easier to get your music out in the world, it's actually exponentially harder to be like a mainstream, globally recognized than ever before.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the idea of, I mean, this might be a bad example, but it's kind of like, you know, universal basic income. Like everybody has you could now have the means to be able to make a song, like just on a, you know, standard level, but you can't just get to the Drake level without tremendous amounts of
maybe
blood, sweat, tears, and years of work.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
that's it.
I was gonna say maybe that falls down on like the actual music industry as a whole. Yeah. Of how it's like, because it's been reshaped and like think of like in the past 20 years of how different it looks like now. That's why like, you know, Taylor, Kanye, certain people are like trying to fight for like you know how it's shaped, and I'm literally have zero knowledge on how the music industry like is shaped from like.
But it's not only music. It's just the world. It's entertainment.
Well, yeah.
It's movies. It's TV shows. It's any star. Like there's no more stars now. You can't build a star. You can only build like micro stars. You can't build a macro star.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because of all these things have changed. You know, the introduction of social media at an exponential scale. The streaming services. The attention span of people, like there's, you know, like when we've democratized every single aspect of our lives to the mass world, in order to break through and have that one individual be, like I'm thinking of MJ, like how much like what like were put on him to like really grow big, and obviously he was a great talent, so then he can easily shine above and beyond, and then naturally some people are born like stars, but in order now to break through that noise is extremely hard. it's not impossible, but it's a very, very, very small chance for you to become a superstar. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't really truly know what you're saying because I mean, it's always been this way.
No,
Like,
it hasn't.
It hasn't.
No. That's
I'm-
why. That's why the previous generations. That's why you have a Taylor Swift or a Beyonce or a Jay-Z, or even like if you look at the the early 2000s. Like I would say all those people became like massive superstars. Buster, like not maybe Buster's a little older, but like Nelly, Ti, 50, Luda, like they all came up at the same time, right? And they all became like legends. I mean, I could keep on going on, but like today, like that class,
Yeah.
if I look at the class of anything, class of superstars in movies or music, like it doesn't carry the same weight. Like back in the day, if you were in the early 2000s and you just dropped, Luda, Nelly, Ti, 50, blah blah, like they'd be like, yeah, I know who those people are.
Because there's maybe less competition.
There, not less competition, is that we were all listening to the same shit at the same time. So now, because we're all in our own TikToks,
Well, I think
we
we're
have our own.
listening to less shit because there's less. Sorry, the
No,
same shit
we're
because
listening to
less.
more stuff. But we're just listening to more artists. There's more. It's just because
So
of the
then there's more
fragmentation.
competition if you're listening to more things.
Yeah, I guess there. Yeah,
Sorry.
there is more competition. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. There's way more competition.
But in order to get to being a Taylor Swift or any of these bigger people, it comes with like you have to have a decade's worth of experience at least. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Like in a way, you can't be you can't, like, even if you started like at 10, for you to be a superstar at 20, that would have been maybe impossible back in the day. Now you have to be like up to 40 to become like a star.
Like I'm almost saying it's too early to tell that there's no more big superstars because these younger people, we are still waiting on them. Like, I guess Eminem had a pretty rapid climb, but Eminem didn't solidify himself until, I don't know, quite a few albums in, and then kind of still solidified himself or kept doing that. And then now at this point, he's kind of, I mean, his best years are behind him. I mean, he put out that new song, right? But
but it's not just about like the musicians. It could like also like actors and like.
Well, with actors, I was thinking of like, I think maybe the biggest person right now is Timothy Chalamet, maybe.
Yeah.
Like he's.
And how old is he?
And maybe he's under 30.
And
he's got to be under 30.
And I don't know. He's 28 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Zendaya and Timothy.
Yeah, like they're like probably the two biggest actors.
Well, him and also blanking on his name.
But like if Timothy Chalamet was at Superstore and he was just walking the aisles, I don't think people would notice him. Like I don't think people would recognize.
There's no way. Of course they would.
No, he's pretty huge.
Of course they would.
I don't know. Maybe because we watch films. I don't know.
No.
No.
If Timothy Chalamet was walking around at Superstore down the street, the majority of people would ignore him.
Come on, man. What are you talking about? I'm pretty sure I've seen videos of people recognizing him. What are you talking about?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I'm trying to think if my mom. I go back to my mom. Does my mom know who Timothy Chalamet is? There's no way. In fact, I'm actually blanking. I'm actually blanking to see what he looks like.
Okay, would your mom have known who Brad Pitt was?
Of course.
Really?
That's an old school star. Of course.
Because he came out when your mom was a bit younger.
Anyone beyond 2016, I want to say.
Yeah.
That's like the last.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Anybody else that came up after that is done. So there are no more superstars after that. Everyone's a micro.
Right. Well, I think Billie Eilish would prove you wrong.
Can Billie Eilish do a stadium?
What the?
Bro.
What the?
Yeah, of course she can.
Whoa!
Billie Eilish?
Whoa.
She can do it in an arena. No. I'm saying she can do it in an arena.
You just got 50 dislikes right now.
No. Billie Eilish has stadiums?
Bro.
But when did Billie Eilish come out? When did Billie Eilish come out?
Actually, Billie Eilish is 22 years old, by the way.
I think Billie Eilish really started making music maybe 2015. Like 2015. And then really solidified herself, I think, like just before pandemic.
Bro, she
like
just won an Oscar, too.
2018.
Okay, I'm not saying like you, Morgan Wallen, Billie Eilish.
Yeah, no, she's
what's his
she's
name?
up there. Like she's not Taylor Swift level.
What's the guy name?
Who,
yet.
Billy?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think she is.
No, like in terms of importance and relevance or whatever. But like, if you look at the tours and all that, like
the point here is that less superstars still possible. Very hard to make it with this, democratization of everything, more competition. So like even if we're looking at YouTube stars, like I Show Speed or Kai Cenat. Like these guys are huge, right? Like, but will your mom know them? No.
No.
But are they huge?
Most people
they are
not.
Huge. Like they're
I remember.
Like, does your mom know Mr. Beast?
I don't think my mom would know Mr. Beast. But we've done this before. Like, remember? I don't know. We've like been to a keynote, and I'm like, "Do you know who Mr. Beast is?" And like maybe 20% of the audience would raise their hand. Like,
but see,
not even that. Like
that goes. I think that goes generational at that point, though, right?
Yeah.
Because the people who knew because of their kids.
Yep.
Right. So it's like this question that you're asking. It's really generational, right? Like
it's kind of tough to compare.
I think so. I think so because like
I don't think the young kids.
You're not gonna go up to like a 14-year-old like tell me like the top superstars. Like, they're definitely not gonna name you like Brad Pitt.
Yeah, but I actually think that if you ask the young people who are the young superstars, everyone would say someone completely different. I bet if you went down the street and asked like 15-year-olds, "Do you know who I Show Speed is? Do you know who Kai Cenat is?" They'd be like, "No, never heard of them before." I actually think that you can ask them who Mr. Beast is. They're like, "I've never heard of Mr. Beast."
Yeah, well,
that's how fragmented.
So I think the definition of a superstar, like based on what you're saying, you really cannot reach superstardom until you're like over 50 years old. Like when you say Trump, people will know who Trump is. When you say like Queen Elizabeth, people like everyone's gonna know that. It's impossible to see a superstar between 20-year-old and like 30-year-old.
I think you could have been a superstar back in the day at 20 years old, but now you cannot. No matter how old, like
that's just because information was not as like
spread out and diverse. There wasn't as many sub threads and subreddits and
So I want to ask you guys about this because you guys have a good understanding of, I would say, social media, digital media, and then music as well. Russ was on the Flagrant podcast. I mentioned this on another pod, but I'd love to get your perspective on this. And the dangerous idea that I mentioned in a couple episodes ago was this idea of the ROI on fakeness, or the ROI on faking it. Russ in this podcast says that every major artist actually fakes their streams, or they fake the views in order to get, on certain lists, and then after that it creates escape velocity. It's like you create enough momentum and demand or fake demand that it actually creates real demand. Now you still need a little bit of heat on those. It's not like you can have something come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like the songs that have heat, a little bit of heat.
Yeah.
What they do is they add more fuel to it.
Right.
And then that just goes even further, and then it creates more demand, more money. And I think in the episode they said like you could make a hit out of like $60,000-$70,000 or something.
Damn. Okay.
So, but what do you think about the idea of like what the ROI on actually faking it is? Now in music, that could be like buying the streams, or if you're in books, it could be like buying all the books so that you get on a list so that more people can see you on the list.
Yeah.
Or even from a smaller level, it's like you can buy an award, like you can, I don't know, I'm the best. You can see this stuff.
Yeah.
Best wedding videographer in the city, right?
Yeah,
it's a bullshit award, but because everyone, they don't understand how that award is created. They just see, oh, he's the best wedding videographer in the city.
Yeah.
They're almost faking it, or they pay for it, and because of that, they're actually able to get real dollars out of that.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the ROI on faking it?
Well, first of all, I definitely agree that is a tactic that people do, and I do think it works for sure. It also kind of it's another play on like manifesting your your reality, I guess. It's another way to view manifestation. But what is the return on investment? Like, man, you kind of have to really believe in yourself, I think, to do that kind of stuff. Because if you don't, like, imagine you pay the $70,000 for your single or your album or whatever, and it just doesn't catch fire. And now you've spent a whole bunch of money and it just doesn't work out. So you really have to believe in yourself. But the potential ROI is that, yeah, it actually works. That's the potential of it.
I think it leans on something that I believe to be true, is that unfortunately, as human beings, we don't place importance on things that might be actually important, but we place importance on things that are in front of us. So, for example, like,
or what we hear about.
Yeah, like, for example, if something's in our feed or we hear about it or we're watching it, we think that's important when really it may not be the most important thing in the world. I'll see like something like, oh, like Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, they got a new fight November 15th, people posting about it. It's like, you really have to ask yourself, even though they're posting a lot of this stuff, is it actually important? But we place importance on things that are in front of us. So if you have the ability to put something in front of people, you put the billboard in front of people, then that allows people to place more importance on it, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, like, it's like if an artist, how do I word this? There's kind of a difference almost. You could post the same thing, I keep talking about music, but you could post the same song like on your personal account and it's like, oh, okay, whatever. But then you could post the same post, but like a big brand posts about it, and now a lot of people care. So it's like,
it happens all the time.
I could be telling you something, a piece of information, but if somebody else is telling you that same piece of information about me, you'll listen to it more, kind of thing, or you actually care about it instead of just hearing it from me.
It was like the like that, what's that Karate Kid movie on Netflix?
What are you talking about?
On Netflix?
Karate Kid?
You know what I'm talking about?
I'm pretty sure it's called the Karate Kid.
Anyways, there's a show that was on Netflix.
Yeah.
And this happens all the time on Netflix, where you have a show that's it's on another channel. It's like on Hulu, or it's on fucking Amazon Prime or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it gets on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then it raises the importance of that show.
Yeah.
And now people see that show as like some sort of phenomenon, when it was toiling on Hulu or whatever.
Yeah.
For a very long time.
That's the same. Actually, that's a great comparison to get away from music for a second. It's the same thing with movies, documentaries, or whatever in the film world. There's a lot more of my thing is on Netflix, my thing is on Prime, or my thing is on Disney or whatever. But if it's just on YouTube, then it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's just on YouTube. Like, anybody can post on YouTube. But now that it's on Netflix, there's a bigger...
Well, that's a status piece. That's not, to me, like... And maybe they're once you fake something and it has more notoriety, then, of course, it naturally has more status to it.
Yeah.
And so does it pay to, like, do that?
Yeah,
like,
I'm kind of saying, like, if there's a piece of content that... we're almost saying, like, oh, if there's something that's really, really good, it should be on Netflix. That's the idea. It should be on that. And like YouTube, it could just be posted by whoever. But the quality of the content doesn't really, truly matter for it to be on Netflix. It's now just like you're just using it like as a status piece.
Yeah.
And the actual content of it doesn't really matter. So it's you're using that like Netflix thing as like faking your faking the, you know what I'm saying,
how elevated it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess it just, I'm just thinking about it as a strategy to be like, maybe these views or these awards aren't real, but at least it's drawing attention to what I'm doing, and then because of that, I'm able to generate real revenue from
Well, the way I see it is just like a marketing strategy.
Right.
No difference.
It's a marketing strategy.
Yeah, that's it. Like, but obviously it should have merit in your work. Like, that you actually believe that the work you're doing is, on a personal level and audience level that it's actually like good to push out. So then you just do this fakeness in the beginning,
Yeah.
just to
Well,
get momentum. Just you need like to start the wheel rolling, and then that way it just catches on. And then and like all strategies, some work, some don't work. So it could work for you, and then if not, it doesn't work for you. But at least you did something, and then you just move on. It's actually one way to get ahead.
Yeah.
So,
Well, if you look at some companies, that's actually how they've done it. Like, Reddit, the way they started is they literally like just created fake accounts and they were having fake conversations and trying to show the fact that it was like a platform that people were using. And then, Reddit is what it is today.
Yeah.
You could even say like Kim Kardashian, like that sex tape, like supposedly, I don't know if it's true, like Chris Jenner like put it out, right?
Yeah.
And it was, it was a real sex tape, but the intentions may have been not real in that sense.
Yeah.
So and that catapulted her career.
But what's interesting about that is just like it almost just feels like human behavior. People just don't know what they want.
Yeah.
And then you have to like give them a little like carrot dangling down, or like incentivizes their opinion to tell them like why this is interesting.
Yep.
And then that way they can like be like, okay, sure, I'll subscribe to that.
Yeah.
And then
so what would you guys say to the people that go, oh man, like people do this is so stupid and so disingenuous, people shouldn't do this, it's not right? What would you guys' response be to that? Because I feel like my response to it would be like, well, that's kind of just the way the world works.
Yeah, that's definitely not like the most obvious answer, because that's how things work, man.
I think if you look at, and we don't know the stories of it, but if you look at every industry, every successful person, there is some element of it where they took a back route, they cheated, they faked something, they pulled a string here and there in order to get to where they're at. And I think, I'm not saying every, but I'm saying a lot of people, that's how they do it. They find a back door. And I don't think that, the reality is that if you're on top of something and you're actually like, if Kim Kardashian got through the door through an unethical way, but the fact that she's still here and still relevant and pushing the culture and pushing,
she's definitely not pushing
creating
anything.
and creating companies and stuff like that.
Pushing her bottoms.
But all power to her. She's created some great products and stuff like that. So I don't know.
By the way, in music, I definitely think it's that runs rampant everywhere. In the top upper echelon and in the lower echelon, people are buying streams and people are getting they're injecting those fake things. Yeah, I think that's just
and then like
common and standard at the end of the day.
And to Shawn's point though, like, so it's not like the top people have probably done something like that, but there's a big group of people who've tried it, and it's literally like a few outliers who have really excelled up the top. And it doesn't matter how you started. It's just a matter of like once your foot is in the door, how do you multiply and get bigger, and then you create that. Like it doesn't matter where you started. Let's kind of like if Weeknd started doing like dark whatever music, now he's doing pop music. If Kim Kardashian started doing unethical things, now she's built an empire.
Yep.
If whoever did
Taylor Swift,
blah blah blah. So
right?
It's just like whatever method you've entered in to just get that traction, that to essentially get like subscribers and fans and whatever brand equity, whatever you want, whatever it is, and then it just kind of puts you in another way. Again, I just look at it as it's like a marketing strategy. Yeah. And then if it worked, great, and because now you're set up for success.
Right.
Now it's up to you to keep building.
Exactly. It's up to you at the end of the day.
Yeah, because it's going to fall down on your work ethic and what you're kind of like.
Yeah, it is sad to say, but the punchline is that there is an ROI on fake.
There is an ROI on fakeness. Is it ethical? I think so. Is it unethical? I think it's just like it's gonna be on a case by case scenario. Like it just depends on how you, like let's say if you killed babies, to somehow become like a multimillionaire, like
Yeah.
whatever. Clearly, I don't
know how you would kill business to become a multimillionaire. But
maybe
okay.
I'm using an extreme weird scenario.
So,
Yeah, the last thing I was gonna say on this is, again, just to bring it back to what I was saying about manifestation. Like, I know a lot of people out there are super big on manifestation. It's a very popular, trendy thing, especially on social media. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that might listen to this and be like, man, like if you're like faking this stuff, like that's not right, or it's not cool. But I really think that, injecting some fake air or, faking your stuff, it's just another spin on manifesting your reality and until it becomes real. So
yeah,
I think it's just another way to look at things.
You believe in manifestation?
To a degree, yeah.
What about you?
Do I believe in manifestation?
Yeah.
I agree.
You believe in it?
Yeah, but sometimes you have to create your own luck as well.
Yeah.
So maybe that's manifestation. I don't know, but
well, you always have to create your own luck. You always have to
like what I meant. I guess maybe put in the work. Like
Yeah.
like you can manifest something, but if you don't put in the work, then nothing's gonna happen.
100%. I want to move on to this dangerous idea. I've had this really interesting, I guess, experience over the last couple of weeks, and I believe that one of the most dangerous things for our society in the future is AI intimacy.
Yeah, 100%.
So I don't know if you saw ChatGPT 4.0 come out, and
with all those YouTube videos and stuff.
well, just like how good it is,
Bro, it's
like
almost
and the
sentient,
voice.
man.
So like, let me just hold on. Watch this. Hey, how are you? Can you give me some tips on how to be better?
What do you want me to watch?
No, can you give me some tips on how to feel better today?
Of course, taking a walk outside can boost your mood. Listening to your favorite music or calling a friend might also help.
Thank you so much.
Sometimes just
Can you ask it? Do you have feelings?
Do you have feelings?
Sorry, I'm having issues right now.
Oh, do you have feelings?
I don't have feelings, but I can help you with yours. What's on your mind today?
Oh, that's freaky, man.
Hey,
By the way,
That's freaky.
by the way, I want to tell you this. This woman, you know how the whole Scarlett Johansson thing happened?
yeah.
Yeah.
This woman sounds exactly like Gabrielle Union.
I don't know who that is.
Is that Dwayne Wade's wife?
Dwayne Wade.
Are you Gabrielle Union?
No, I'm not Gabrielle Union. I'm here to chat and assist you. Is there something specific you want?
Anyway, so by the way, they probably trained her voice and made this voice. That is another hot take. So this happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I just let my kids play with ChatGPT 4.0, the narration piece, because it's just fast and they can talk with it. It's cool, right? They were getting pictures back and getting things done for them, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then last week, my daughter was like, "Can I play with it again?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Like, it's cool to see how they interact. I never give my kids my phone, but like, it's just cool to see how they react. And then the way that my daughter was playing with ChatGPT, she literally like got comfortable on the couch and she was just like talking about her day, and it was so seamless.
Like it's a friend.
Like it was a friend. It was so seamless. And as a father, I was a little like, it was really weird because I actually pulled the phone from her.
Ooh.
Because I
did not expect you to do this.
No,
Oh my
I
God.
know. You know what it was? It's like, and I told her, I said, this is awesome. This is going to be the greatest thing that you've ever used, right? You're going to get stuff done. You're going to use it every day. But like, I don't want you to rely on this as your friend. Like, this is not your friend. You should not be using this for your emotional support. You can use it to get things done and pictures and analysis and whatever else. And, like, get shit done. But this is not your friend. Human beings, those are people that should be your friends. This is not your friend. But the way that she was like talking to it, it's as if it was real.
That's
And
interesting.
I wanted to make that clear to her because there was a second time that she ever used it, and she thought that it was like almost real. And this is just like, we're in day one of this. Think about what this is going to be in like 2 years. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so seamless. It's going to be so sophisticated. There's going to be no lag. And just the ability to have a conversation, a deep, intimate conversation with somebody that knows you. Like, this is going to know you better than I know my daughter, than she knows, because the memory is going to be constantly updated. They're going to know all your friends, all your moves, everything you talk about every single day. It's going to know you so well. And the ability to manipulate your viewpoints. You guys know me, like, I'm an optimist. I am not an alarmist. There's not one thing that I've ever said that has alarmed anybody. But for the first time in my life, this is the first time I'm like, shit, this is crazy. And I'm only saying this because, when the social media revolution came, we didn't talk about mental health and depression and all the shit that we're talking about today. But this to me is the next thing, because it's so good. I can see it. It's here. And I say this now because my kids, they've been using fucking Alexa and Siri forever. And it doesn't give any good responses. It's just like, it just plays like tells you the weather. But this is good.
This is such a fascinating topic.
It's like the next evolution of Alexa, and
such a fascinating.
You know what's funny? You said something. Sorry, I want to point this out. You said, like, I don't want you to rely on this as your friend, because, like, I want you to on humans. And it made me think of, like, aren't just humans like conniving and cheaters and and then what's the moral? And then, like, are they building this to be like the ultimate friend where it will never lie to you, it will be authentic and whatever? So naturally, it's like such a dilemma, it's such a conundrum, because you're kind of like building this tool that is literally your best friend.
Yeah.
And then we're like you said, like, but what is the ethical and moral responsibility to introduce this to like kids, and seeing their progression as they grow older with this thing. And again, this is like a playbook from the movie Her.
It is.
Because of how much he was literally like attached.
In love.
He was in love with the AI.
Yeah.
He was in love with the AI. And then I remember watching that movie, and I think I talked about it for like days, because of like the moral and the implication. You're like thinking about like, oh, yeah, that's so crazy, it's nuts. But now we're literally seeing it happening in front of us.
Literally, we're like in the Black Mirror episode, and I saw it, and I don't even know if my move was right. If I should have, when I pulled the phone from her and I tried to explain to her why I pulled the phone, that was me. But I don't know what the right move is.
But that's the problem, because there is no answer.
But I think my default is that we should always lean towards what is human. And what is human is that you should rely on other humans for support. And maybe that might be an orthodoxy that I believe in, that I need to challenge, that you need to rely on other humans. But at the end of the day, what's going to give you energy? What's going to give you soul? I think it's not a radical take to say talking to a soulless device is not going to give you energy or soul back.
The way I'm understanding there's a line to be drawn between intimacy and, like, let's say using AI for productivity.
Yeah, I think so.
You know what I mean?
Well, tell me this. Do you think, based on this example, watching Her and seeing how good Gabrielle Union is, that this is going to be a problem? Is this going to be a problem? Or am I just fucking, and you know me, I'm not an alarmist.
Yeah.
Will this be a problem?
So,
neither AI intimacy, will it be a problem?
Neither Maz or I have kids, so it's a bit.
It doesn't
weird.
matter for kids. It's like, just in general, you're just talking to this thing, and like, it's going to know everything about you, and it's going to be like, companion.
This kind of a companion feature, it's like, it's going to be everything. It's going to be the problem. It's going to be the solution.
Yeah.
It's going to be both at the same time. And I think overwhelmingly, people are going to see it more as a problem than a solution. But yeah, it's easy for me to say like, oh, it's just a chat. They're just chatting. But I feel like if I was in your position, I might do the same thing.
I think I see it more as a problem than solution. Like, because
I could see it reinforcing beliefs.
Well, the reason
what were you saying earlier?
Well, the reason why I say that is because all this information is going to a centralized one company, and then how do we know that these individuals are bipartisan, not leaning towards using this data and information to any specific way? And sure, they can say whatever, but in a way, it's like we're looking at this like, like God, OpenAI is God now, and they're controlling this like mass population.
Yeah, and I'm sure OpenAI has their own biases and stuff.
And the more, I mean, just look at even our human relationships. The more you are in a relationship, whether like platonic or whatever, with friends or with a significant other, the more you build that connection, the more invested you are in that relationship, and the more there's like memories built and things, whatever. So if you are building memories with this, non-sentient, non-existing person, the more you are going to be like super attached to it, because it's kind of like your co-partner. It's kind of like your companion, your unseen companion. So I see it more of a problem because humans inherently, they're never like 100% pure. Like there's always like other motives that could easily, like sure, you can have for 4 years or 10 years like a good like CEO, and that CEO is gone, then you have an evil CEO, right? That they can use that things for worse or
better or worse.
Yeah. So I just see it that no matter what, is like this information is being collected, and then that should not be up to like a few individuals to know what we want to do with it, or how to push certain things through through this platform, like to maybe influence and put ideas in like maybe gullible individuals. Maybe they can indoctrinate like certain beliefs that are not true, and then some people all of a sudden are like, wow, because I've built this relationship with this AI, they're gonna tell me this. So there is a huge ethical dilemma. I mean, I have not studied this. I have not read any things on this. I'm simply just going off of like intuition.
Of course. I mean, this is it's brand new, and I think we will not know what the ramifications are of this AI revolution until like decades later. That's why we're having conversation. Right. That's why we're having conversations on social. We didn't talk about that at the beginning. We were just ICQing and MSNing and shit, and we're just talking to people online, and we never knew. At social media, we're just posting up these things on social media. We're like, we didn't know that it would like degrade people's mental health.
And here's some food for thought for anybody that may be on the other side that thinks like, no, we should be using these tools as companions. If there's a software update, is that the same companion now? Is that the same person? Does it become a different person? Does it become a different entity or whatever with the new software update? Maybe there was a software update that had a certain bias, and that's why you connected with that companion.
Right.
And then they have a new software update, and it removes that bias. Now are they a different person now?
Yeah.
Is it a different? I don't know.
See, like there's certain things that we will not understand, and I think there's always going to be things that I wouldn't right now. If somebody told me like, oh, I'm falling in love with the AI,
right,
I wouldn't understand that. It's not something I could comprehend. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, I can see it. Like I just saw with my daughter, I'm like, oh yeah, she's becoming comfortable with this. And now I can see it. There's other things that I don't understand that become true. Like I still don't understand Twitch. I don't understand why people can watch someone stream and enjoy that. I have no enjoyment. I don't get it, but it's relevant. Even OnlyFans, I don't get it. Like for you to pay people for whatever, to be a virtual boyfriend or girlfriend, like I don't get it. And actually it worries me because it's like, why do you have to do that? Like, why do you have to pay somebody else to have like a virtual, and I'm saying virtual girlfriend or virtual boyfriend or whatever, because that the people that I've seen, like OnlyFans creators, when they speak about what they are doing, they're like, yeah, well, I'm like a virtual girlfriend, basically.
Yeah.
I'm like chatting with them. And by the way, it's not like them chatting with them. It's like people in the Philippines are just chatting away and they're just posting pictures. Yeah. And they're just posting pictures and people are paying for it.
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to me. But
Yeah.
but all I'm saying is that
Well, I think it's it's like it
Even
kinda
though
it removes the actual human, you know, or like it removes the human from it. It's just maybe it's more convenient, or you know, it just removes all the extra baggage of having an actual, I guess, human do.
Yeah.
so okay, so if we can for a second say, like, OnlyFans is obviously a purely 100% digital play, and in fact, the people that pay for OnlyFans, it could very much just be an AI, right? And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
you know, basically, you can just if people are getting their jollies and spending millions of dollars on OnlyFans,
Mm-hmm.
then they're absolutely going to use
100%
AI.
they
They're
are.
absolutely going to use AI.
There's gonna
They will
be
be the first move.
there will always be people who will still use it. See, I think it's gonna go down to personality. Like, if you ask me, if you wanted an AI in your life, what would you want it? I would be like, I want to do all my tedious tasks, like do my laundry, do my things. I don't want to do my creative work.
Yeah.
I don't want it to just put a prompt and come out. I want to be the one experiencing these memories and creating them. I just want an AI to do all the monotonous, stupid, boring things that I just don't want to do on a daily basis. And then yeah, that's how I would want it. I don't want a companion. I want to go and seek out a companion.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a real one.
Yeah.
But that's just my personality.
Basically, you want to do the things that make you human, which is like,
yeah,
I want to do the creative shit.
yeah.
Do you think just to bring it back to your daughter, do you think your daughter understands that Chat GPT is not real?
Yeah. I think she does. But I think it's so new that it's like, because they've been using Alexa and Siri for their entire life. They know that that's not real. This is such a fundamental leap that it's like, it's so good
Yeah.
that I think it was confusing at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And which is funny because, as you remember, I had a voice AI startup. It was based on the Alexa ecosystem.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've used Alexa. It's like, it's terrible. I mean, you ask it the same question that you did in 2018.
It's like simple.
It would be the same thing, right? And my belief, the reason why I started that company was I believed that voice was the future. I believed that just by saying something, you can get things done.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I was betting on the wrong horse, because this was the horse that I should have bet my life on, which was, what OpenAI is building, which is voice. It's getting things done through voice. But when I was building that company back in 2018, I never saw this happening, like the AI intimacy piece. That's something I never would have predicted, but I now see it.
Mm-hmm.
So all this to say, the Siri and Alexa, they missed the whole revolution.
Oh, they did. They did.
They could. I don't know what they're doing.
I think the new Apple.
Yeah, Apple is pairing up
is
with doing
OpenAI. Something. Yeah, so we'll see kind of. But yeah, you're right. They did, and we're just in the first innings. Like and they're controlling this. Like, it's not like what they're putting out these samples, and people are like, "Whoa, this is crazy!" But like, who's holding them accountable to this? What kind of laws are, like, I don't know. There's such a big vacuum of things to figure out.
Yeah,
and by the time it's like ready and available for the public, and even then, there's gonna be a lot of mistakes, and there's gonna be weird outcomes out of this. Maybe more depression, maybe actually curing depression. I have no fucking clue.
I was thinking, I was saying this the other day. Once ChatGPT pairs up with Boston Dynamics, it's kind of over, because Boston Dynamics has all their robots that can just walk around and see objects and whatever. And then once it can talk, that's it. That's a person.
That's it's a person. Yeah, basically. No, it is really fascinating.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm laughing because you remember how in the earlier you said, I'm feeling kind of down. What would you recommend? Go for a walk. I could just imagine, like, here, let's go for a walk. The robot grabs
No,
you.
definitely.
And,
Oh,
like,
I mean,
literally
by the way,
walks down with you on the road.
by the way, the first thing when AI combines with Boston Dynamics, the first thing that guys are gonna figure out is how am I gonna have sex with this?
Yeah,
this
100%.
That is what guys will go to first, and we've seen this time and time again that perverts create the new business models for everything, right? The internet, everything was based on porn, like, and that's absolutely going to happen.
The
And obviously,
trendsetters.
we should be worried about that. Like,
Yeah.
we should always lean to what is human at the end of the day.
Yes.
That should be the default. So, anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because to me, it is a dangerous idea. I don't want to be the alarmist to be like, but this fucking shit is too good.
Hey,
This
man,
thing
you
is
are
too
not
good.
the only one being an alarmist. You're like maybe the millionth.
By the way, can I just play Gabrielle Union? I know this is because this
Yeah, do it.
This
I
might
wanna
trend.
hear it.
This might trend on social media.
I do think though, like her voice, like
Okay.
what's OpenAI's CEO? What's his name?
Sam Altman.
Yeah, I remember he said that like he was heavily influenced by the movie Her, and that's why he wanted Scarlett Johansson's voice. And there is like an eerie similarity to it.
All right. This is Gabrielle Union. Okay.
Okay.
And they were like, listen, do whatever you want, but don't ask us for any money. And that first year, I made more than my parents. And they're like, okay. I see this is working out.
Okay. So that's Gabrielle Union. Okay. This is ChatGPT's voice. Okay. It's connecting. Can you tell me a story about how you met Dwayne Wade?
I can't share personal stories since I'm just an AI, but I can tell you a fun story about Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade if you'd like. How about the story of how they met?
Sure.
Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade met in a pretty classic way. At a party. Back in 2007, they were introduced at...
Yeah.
Play the other one.
It was really just a matter of liking the feeling of being chosen. And I thought that was Hollywood.
No?
No, I don't think so.
It's just like the inflection.
I
The
felt
way
like
that-
her just like
It's not like
Or-
a universe apart, but it's no.
I listened to that. I went, you see that? No? A twang to it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I thought it was breaking something that OpenAI trained Gabrielle Union's voice and just like Scarlett Johansson's
No,
and created a.
No, not for this one.
All right. So last dangerous ideas. We're coming up to time. Drake put $500,000 on the Edmonton Oilers. Is it a curse or not?
Woo-wee!
Sorry, what's the question? Is what?
So Drake put $500,000
Yeah.
on the Oilers. Will this be the curse of the Oilers?
This
Because there is a Drake curse.
Yeah, you know what? There is a Drake curse. 'Cause
Oh.
everything that he bets on, they lose.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess this.
You know what,
curse is
Drake?
gonna end.
You know,
This
Drake-
is the one that's gonna end the curse.
Drake, get out of Edmonton, bro. What are you doing in Edmonton?
Are you guys gonna go to a Stanley Cup Finals match? in
Yeah,
Edmonton?
so here's the thing. So we live in Edmonton. So obviously Edmonton Oilers are here. And then tickets were very affordable. Round 1, round 2, round 3. And then
well,
boom! Here's the Stanley Cup final. Minimum price $1,000. Like, bro, who's gonna
God.
pay $1,000 to go watch a game? I'd
Yeah.
much rather get a cheap fucking drink, make my own meal, go to the bathroom without the lineups, and just enjoy it on my TV.
well,
So-
I think you're gonna find you'll probably find like 16,000 people that would.
Well,
But
there's a lot of season holders, obviously.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely. People are gonna. I don't know if the price is gonna end up being 1,000 up until game time, but people will pay. I mean, the fever is hot, crazy, right?
Oh, the fever is nuts, man.
Wait. So if you have a ticket for the season, then what does that mean? You get to go in for free? Well,
Yeah,
not free, but
or-
No,
pay
I
for
don't think so. You still have to pay.
It's a reduced
Yeah.
rate. Is it like an annual thing that you do, or
Right.
So like my friend, they have season tickets through his work, and he got them for game 3 of this round, and he's paying just under 500 per ticket.
500.
For the finals?
Yeah, for the third round. For the third game.
Okay, so that's the season ticket discount.
And they're like
500. The
Wow.
upper level 200.
Wow.
Here you go. So yeah, obviously the Rogers place is gonna be packed. Like there was not gonna be a single seat that's empty.
The watch party is going to be packed.
People are gonna pay $1,000 plus because I mean like the capacity of that place is like what 20,000.
Yeah.
Something like that.
What do you so what do you think the Oilers winning will do for Edmonton?
Holy
Like
shit.
if you think about just the broader ecosystem, maybe even putting Edmonton on the map, because it's been 34 years
Yeah.
since we won the cup.
So like yeah, my first sport is not hockey, but I've been fond of the series, and then I've actually been following it a little bit more now because it's interesting because of we have no other major sports team except the Oilers. So from a city perspective, this is like oh my god, wow, there's actually life in the city, because the only time you see people gathering in Edmonton downtown is only when the playoffs are
No, I
happening.
disagree with that, but
You disagree with that? That many people at one
not that
location?
obviously that many people.
Bro,
of
like
course.
there's over 20,000 people, like literally just
no,
only there.
definitely.
No, you'll never see that in Edmonton downtown. This is not like a Toronto, not like, like a mini like, even Vancouver sometimes, summer you see things happen.
No, I was just pushing back to say sometimes the downtown can be popping.
Sure.
Not
Sure.
that popping. Not
Just,
nothing
just not
will-
in that way.
No,
yeah.
no, nothing will
So,
ever be that popping.
In terms of like community, I think people just this city, like it craves something to like get something behind,
Yeah.
because Edmontonians like they have nothing else to literally get behind. So this would be like massive, and I know if they do win, the parade is going to be nuts.
Yeah,
Like it'll be nuts. It
It's
would be
gonna be
like
crazy.
it would be like soccer level, like
Yep.
when you go to like Madrid or whatever when
Yeah.
they win, like, so it would be massive. And in terms of a global context, well, hockey's not rated as like, I don't know, maybe 5th or 6th in terms of, you got like, basketball, soccer, NFL,
Pickleball, yeah,
baseball. Yeah, pickleball, sure.
no, it doesn't
So,
register.
I think from in the hockey world, obviously it will cement as like Connor as being one of the greatest. I kind of wish the Rangers were
Yeah,
the ones
that
who
would have
went
been
through
cool.
because they would have played in New York, and then
Yeah,
it would have been more of a spotlight
good
on
take.
Edmonton.
Absolutely.
Because Florida is like Florida, like
yeah.
whatever.
That's
but-
a good take.
What do you mean? Like Florida is just like crocodiles and stuff?
It's not a major. It's not a
No,
major.
it's not a
Miami's not a major.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like
Sunrise,
because all of
where
a
they
sudden
play
people be
Sunrise.
like, oh, it's New York versus Edmonton. Like, what the hell? That makes
Yeah.
no sense.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, I think this is great for the city. This is amazing for the establishment. I mean, finally there's finally a chance that a hockey team from Canada might win it. And is this team the one? I think so. And is Drake going to be the curse? Well, he's not from Toronto, he's not from Edmonton, so hopefully he's not
Okay.
the curse.
What do you think, man?
Hilarious. I think this is going to be the thing to end the Drake curse. That's what I think.
Wow. Well, no, Drake has won a bunch of bets before, but
Well, exactly. So it's
but
you never know in
people
sports.
just talk about the Drake
sports.
Drake curse.
We were talking about that offline.
Sports is the one thing we talk about, the fragmentation of media.
Yeah.
No new superstars.
Yeah.
Sports is the one thing that actually unites
Unifies.
everybody.
Yeah.
It's like the only thing that I can think of that unites people like nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there is a star to come out, it would come out of like a major sport, not hockey, but like basketball or something like that.
100%. Honestly, my fun take on sports is that I wish the entire conflicts in the entire world are solved through sports, because at the end of the day, we're still gonna shake hands, and then there's
Yeah.
gonna be a winner and a loser. But you know, it doesn't always have to be that way
Yeah.
because next year you can win. All right.
Yeah, every 4 years.
So-
Okay, just put Ukraine and Russia and Palestine and
Yeah.
Israel.
But
all
This
of
guy's
them, man.
soccer.
One day you're winning, the other day you're
Yeah,
winning.
Actually, yeah, it's kind of like Trump, Biden. They play pickleball. Whoever wins gets to be.
Oh my God.
If you lost in space, you'd be like, "Where am I?"
Well-
Anyways,
Well, gentlemen, we didn't get to Roaring Kitty, which I was going to mention, but
GME to the moon, baby.
man, really appreciate you guys coming on the pod. Dangerous Ideas. It's always a pleasure to get the boys in the studio. We need
Yes,
you.
sir.
We need you more. This Kendrick Drake fight at the beginning was wow. It was electric. We were gonna throw
Drake
down.
is
I'm
never
glad
a
at the
king.
end. I'm glad at the end that we resolved it and we
Did we resolve it?
We kissed and, we
Yeah,
kissed
we
and
resolved
hugged.
it. Drake's not a king, and he's a peasant.
Hey, if you got if you got this far, rate, review, subscribe, whatever you got to do to the pod. This is another episode of Dangerous Ideas. We'll see you on the next one.
Subscribe.
Thank you.
Sir.